Hello, welcome to our Iceland Live today. We are having some interesting technical difficulties. I'm actually getting a text right now from our friends in Iceland, and they are having some issues getting on. You know, it's modern technology. What are you going to do? So I thought I would entertain you guys today by sharing some of our videos from our travels in Iceland so you can still see those Icelandic horses that we wanted to cherish and enjoy today. And for those of you who are logging on, we will also be bringing on Cathy Moa of Gourmet Voyages, who works with me on Darley Vacations itineraries to chat about Iceland travel and answer your questions about horseback riding, travel in Iceland, and the itinerary that we've put together for Darley Vacations. And I just also wanted to share with you some times and some pleasures that I had when I've traveled to Iceland twice now on my adventures, riding horses, going to the spa, eating great Icelandic cuisine. I mean, it's such an amazing destination and it's so close to the US. So if you're joining us, please pipe in and let us know in the comments. We're excited to have you guys here today. And let me start us off with a video so you can learn a little bit about Iceland.
With summers of almost constant sunlight and winters blanketed in darkness, Iceland is a fascinating country of extremes. Riding on strong Viking horses in the island country of Iceland is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Because horses are so important to the people of Iceland, it's only natural that there are lots of riding vacations around Iceland. And a great way to explore the country's natural wonders is to ride a sure-footed Icelandic horse. They may be pony-sized, but these hardy horses pack some might, and they'll prove it as they cross lava fields, to waterfalls, and into the clouds.
Wow, such an amazing adventure to ride in Iceland. And the Icelandic horses are just such a treasure. I actually was able to write about them actually in a book I wrote about equitrekking a while back. As you can see, this one's faded because I had it sitting out in the sunlight. But there's a whole chapter on Iceland and all the adventures that you can have when you travel there. So if you're joining us today, please let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. We love hearing from you guys. And if you have questions, we're going to take questions throughout the live today, both about horses and Iceland and riding there and also travel. Hi, Nicholas. Thanks so much for joining. We're excited to be able to share with you, all about these adventures. And thanks for joining us from New York and Jersey City and all the places you guys are coming in from. So I'm going to bring on Cathy Moa of Gourmet Voyages, who works with me and has put together with me this Iceland itinerary. And we just wanted to share with you more about the country and what it's like to travel there and experience it firsthand. And Cathy, I can say that now, having been twice, it's such a unique experience to ride Icelandic horses in Iceland, because I don't know how many people know this, but Icelandic horses, once they leave the country, they can actually go back to Iceland. And they're very strict about that because these are horses that have been kept in isolation for over 1,000 years. It's a fun fact we wanted to share with you guys. And we have Andrea joining us today too, so I'm going to bring her into the stream. We have a whole entourage to tell you about Iceland today. Thanks, Andrea. Do you want to introduce yourself? Because you're coming to us from another cool location.
Yes, I'm actually in Turkey, and I just visited the ancient ruins of Troy yesterday, and I'm working my way back to Istanbul, so I apologize for the delay, but I'm so happy to see you both.
Hi, Andrea.
Thank you for hopping on. These two are champions. We had some technical difficulties with Olafur, our friend who was coming on from Iceland, so he hasn't been able to get on yet. But in the meantime, we have these two lovely ladies who both have an array of travel knowledge to share with you. And thanks for joining us, Kat and Ash. I'm going to say your name wrong, Ashish. And everybody, Allison from New Jersey. If you guys have questions today, we're on live so that we can answer them and share with you more about the amazing adventures that you can have in Iceland. Andrea's actually been working with us firsthand on putting together a great itinerary for Iceland travel, which does have the option for horseback riding, which is one of the things that we're talking about today. And Andrea, I wanted to throw it to you, and you can just say a few words about, this Iceland itinerary and what it's like to travel and experience it.
Well, first of all, I have to say that Iceland is a spectacular destination. I mean, it has so much natural beauty. And if you're looking for that type of adventure, or even not adventure, but just experience, just to really sort of experience nature and have some vastness around you, I mean, Iceland is the place. And these Icelandic horses are absolutely adorable. They're not as big as the horses we're used to in the States, so they're not as intimidating for those that aren't as experienced as maybe Darley is. But they are so adorable and so friendly. I actually went horseback riding myself. It was in the dead of winter in the north part, and it was snowing, and it was like magical. There's just so many magical experiences in Iceland, and it's just, looking around and enjoying that unbelievable natural beauty everywhere you look. It's spectacular. Plus the bonus is you get to see like a rainbow every day. Not a day goes by without a rainbow. So the destination is just, it really is spectacular.
Yeah, so if you guys have questions about riding in Iceland and you're interested in traveling there, we do have a wealth of information on our website. And also, while you're talking about the scenic beauty, I wanted to just show you guys another quick clip, and then we'll come back to chat a little bit more about riding in Iceland.
Expert on Icelandic horses, and while taking me on a ride through an area of pseudo-craters known as the Red Hills, he tells me that even though these horses are small, they are horses, not ponies.
We never talk about him as a pony. We get a little bit, wow, if you say with me, how about your pony? I don't talk so much with you then. No, I'm joking, because this is a horse. He's so strong, it is not a pony.
Icelandic horses are also known for their extra gaits, or ways of moving. While most horses can walk, trot, and canter, Icelandics can also tolt and pace. Just outside of Reykjavik, Einar Johannesson takes some time to teach me how to tolt.
So I want to lean back a little bit.
Give him a little push. It's okay.
Am I tilting?
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
The tolt helps the Icelandic horse cover the rough ground found in Iceland very quickly and smoothly. Like the
And I'm just going to pause it for a second because you guys pay attention. We just talked about something called the Tölt, which is a unique way that the Icelandic horses can move. Something that is interesting about the Icelandic horses that you can experience if you travel to ride there and travel there is that they do have 5 different ways of moving called their gaits. So in addition to the walk, trot, and canter, they can also tolt, and they have something called the skid or pace. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but it is very fast. And what's something else that's cool, and I know Cathy and Andrea, you probably, like when you drive through the countryside, you're seeing Icelandic horses in a variety of places, but a lot of weekends too, they just have horse competitions going on. So there are lots of different ways to experience it while you're there.
lava field.
Einar, it seems like it's really difficult to navigate these lava fields out here.
It's easy for these guys. They have been here for 1,000 years and they're used to this lava fields, rocks and rough terrain. It's no problem for these guys.
So they're very sure-footed.
Yeah, very sure-footed. They've been here so long. They're adapted to the landscape.
A traditional Icelandic horse drive is not only a way for owners to travel with their horses, but also a way to train younger horses to run with the herd and to move horses to summer pastures. Usa is a farmer who often opens up her home to visitors looking to experience life on a typical Icelandic farm. She decides to bring me along on one of the horse drives that she and fellow farmers go on once a week.
It's very Icelandic to travel with a lot of horses. Perhaps one you're riding and another one in your hand, or 2 or 3, or in a big herd, like we're going to do today. And we are doing this once a week, now during the winter time and until spring. And that's because It's good for the horses. It's a big, good training for the horses.
For more travel tips, video clips, and to learn more about equitrekking on public television, visit our website at equitrekking.com.
So really like an amazing experience to do that horse drive with those farmers and see the countryside. And as you saw from the video, how smooth the horses are, there was someone actually riding, carrying a pint of beer. If you've been on my Instagram or Equitrekking's Instagram, that does happen. You can try it. That's how smooth the horses are. And I hope you guys did pay attention. Keep paying attention because I do have a couple trivia questions, and I'm going to give away some Travels with Darley bags and luggage tags. And we also have a giveaway to get excited about our next live, which is on April 14th. And it is a recipe book from Regent, the Mediterranean cruise that I'll be taking next year. And you can get ready for our live with it. But I wanted to throw it back. First of all, throw it to everybody who's joining us. When you guys have questions, please type them into the comment box. I see that Shannon from Sarasota has joined. Thank you for joining, Shannon. And Suzanne is joining and telling us that she went riding in Iceland in March. It was cold, but worth the experience. Cathy and Andrea, do you guys want to talk about a little bit about good times to visit Iceland, generally speaking?
Yes. Andrea, you want to begin?
I'll take it. Well, actually, first of all, I want to say that you shouldn't be afraid of the winter. I know it sounds daunting, but actually I did spend 2 weeks there in the dead of winter in February, just a couple of years ago, and it wasn't as cold as I thought it would be. It was like in the high 20s. We had some sunny days, but ideally, if you want to go sort of April, May, and then September, October. I think those are the best months. This summertime is, of course, beautiful. You have the midnight sun to experience. It is a little pricier, I will say, just because it's super high season for tourism. But I also traveled there in September, and it was still chilly, but not nearly, of course, as cold as the dead of winter. And I saw the Northern Lights several times. So it's a really great time, I feel, September, because the skies are clear. It's not yet, cloudy and wintry. The Northern Lights can be seen, and you can kind of experience the city, the country, when it's not quite high season and not so crowded. So, yeah, I would say that. But as far as winter goes, it is doable. I did drive actually the whole ring road.
Wow.
In the winter. Yeah. And it was spectacular. I've never seen anything like it. It was like completely white in parts in the eastern part of the island. And so, you get kind of a contrast between each side of the island as far as like, although it's winter, you have greenery, and then you have like pure white. So yeah, it's really interesting, especially those that aren't from super cold areas like myself, being from Southern California. So I thought it was just amazing, absolutely beautiful.
Yes, I want to also say that on top of this beauty, natural beauty and wilderness, we have a few experiences which are really off the beaten track. We have partnered with local knife maker who uses bone wheels to make those knives, which are very unique, and you can actually make yours and bring it back home. We will arrange that. We also have a chocolate workshop. So Icelandic chocolate is really famous. I think it's totally worth trying. And we have also partnered with photographers who can take you on a photographic tour. And I want to say that would be another way to experience the wilderness, because it will be off the usual trails. They know so well their islands that they can take you to places that you could not even imagine. We have many experiences, like we can fly you by helicopter onto a glacier, and you can have a gourmet picnic on the glacier, for example. It's really a magical place. and it's so different than what we usually experience when we travel, for example, to Europe or even in the US. And though wilderness is everywhere in the US, but Iceland, I can tell it's a different wilderness. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Totally. Well, and as you guys saw from me watching some of the videos, like Cathy and Andrea are talking about, first of all, Andrea, that you did the whole ring road. If you guys don't know about this is a road that goes around the entire country that you can drive on, but not all of it is paved. So it's not for, it's for people that are high on adventure. And just a reminder to let you know, Andrea's joining us from Turkey today. So she's very adventurous. Cathy's coming to us from California. I'm in New York. So you've got like two sides of the US and you've got an international location coming to you. But that's a very adventurous thing. And I also wanted to let you know that we're having some fun comments. Suzanne was really excited about the combining chocolate and horses, which I think is also a great idea. And Mary is commenting that her husband is 6'3" and 200 pounds. And she wants to know, would he be too big to ride an Icelandic horse? That is a good question, Mary. And actually, it's really surprising. Icelandic horses, as you saw from the video with Diddy, who was one of our experts we interviewed when we were over in Iceland filming for my Equitrekking series, he's a champion rider. He goes all over the world riding, but the best horses they say you will find in Iceland, because remember, you can't take an Icelandic horse out of the country and bring it back in because of quarantine rules in general. But a lot of tall, large people do ride the Icelandic horses. Again, they are smaller, but pound for pound, they are so very strong and mighty. And they remind me a little bit of the Highland ponies. Those are called ponies, and we are not calling the Icelandic horses ponies. That is a faux pas if you go to Iceland, just so you know. They are horses. And another thing that I will tell you is, do not ask an Icelander how many horses they have, because it is considered rude, because sometimes they don't even know, because a lot of people have a lot of horses that they keep at their houses. And Evelyn is commenting in, Cathy, Evelyn joined us from Alabama, and she's commenting in, don't forget to throw in wine and champagne to complement the chocolate. So I think that is...
Oh, yes, we will. We will not forget. That's for sure. And by the way, we have also included in our itinerary some farm experience, and I think that will be very, very educational from a sustainable point of view, very interesting for all our travelers, because you will visit a greenhouse where they grow tomatoes. But some of you may think, oh my God, tomatoes in Iceland, how ridiculous. But no, actually, because with your geothermy and sustainability, they can do it. So we have a whole experience at the farm. We have a farm meals with the farmers. So completely off the beaten track.
Yeah, and just to show you, if you guys can see it, just some other photos, and we'll show a little more video coming up as well of these Icelandic horses. And if you're questioning if they're strong, if they're mighty, look at them running through that water. They are so sure-footed. And Anna's asking again for information on the e-booklet. Yeah, let me put that back up, Anna. Because we actually are giving away a free ebook today if you send us an email. And I'm going to post some other incentives for joining our live today, because we really do value your time and appreciate you guys joining us. And stay tuned for some trivia too, because I have some fun giveaways. So here's how you can get that free ebook that we were talking about. We're here to provide you with information. If you're just joining us and learning today about Iceland with us, I have Cathy Moa on, and Andrea's joining us from Turkey, which I'm like so jealous of. And if you call the number on our website at darley-newman.com, you would be able to speak potentially to Cathy or Andrea or one of their team members to learn about these experiences and vacations. And what I love about that is, in modern times, it's so nice to actually talk to someone to learn about something. These lives are a great way, but also the resources that we're giving to you guys as travelers to help plan vacations and learn about them are really, really special. So Mary's saying, thanks for the answer. Now she just has to convince her husband to go over to Iceland. So we can help. We can help. And I wanted to also address some of the interesting activities that you can do if you go out on a glacier. I don't know, Andrea, if you wanted to talk a little bit about your adventures, because I had an awesome adventure snowmobiling on a glacier in Iceland, which is so very unique.
Yeah, I did the same, and I had never been snowmobiling. And I have to say that was like a highlight for me. It was so much fun. And when we were at ground level before climbing the mountain, it was very cloudy out and kind of drizzly. But when you climb up in one of those big trucks, I'm not sure what they're called, with the big wheels that kind of can plow through the ice and stuff. And we climbed on our snowmobiles. It was like heaven up there. It was sunny. It was blue skies, and just the blue contrasting with the white snow. It was breathtaking, I have to say. Snowmobiling itself wasn't really scary. It was fun. They're very safe, and they give you a really good safety background and teach you how to maneuver the vehicle. But then when you get to the top, it was a highlight for me. And then just to touch on what Cathy mentioned, the meal that can take place. The fun part of that is, like, even when you're seated to have your meal, your chair is carved out of ice. So it's like, you're kind of like one with the glacier. So it's really fun. It's just so different. Yeah.
Yes. Not to talk about the kayak experience, the Zodiac experience, and the super jeep adventure we have planned, as well as mountain biking if you feel like, because then you will be completely in the wilderness and among 170 species of plants, wildlife, moss. There are no words to describe the diversity, the natural diversity in Iceland. We have some ideas in our heads about how it looks like, but until you go, you don't know, I think, really.
Right. And yeah, Cathy, you mentioned the mountain biking. That's like really out there. They'll take you out, you take your bikes, and you can have lunch out in the woods or out in the wilderness, have Icelandic meal. And I have to say, I don't know how you felt, Darley, but I think the food there is really good. It was really fresh, organic. It was everything I ate, I thought was delicious.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of breakfast when I travel. It's a good meal it's your first meal of the day anyway. But when you're traveling in Iceland, for instance, a lot of places will have a great buffet, and you'd be surprised that you're going to have seafood on your breakfast table, but you do, and it's actually really, really good, and you feel healthy and ready for the day when you're there. But there was a lot of different choices for food and drinks when you're in Iceland too, because if you're going to Reykjavik and you're spending some time in Reykjavik like we have on our itinerary, and especially if you're there during the summer, it's a fascinating experience because there is that time frame where there's almost 24 hours of sunlight each day. And they talk about people getting out and enjoying and taking advantage of that sunlight. Icelanders do, travelers do, people really take advantage of getting out and utilizing that daylight, because then when winter comes and you have that amazing Northern Light experience, which is on my personal bucket list, by the way, I'm jealous that you got to do that a couple times, Andrea. It's something that you really want to take advantage of the sun in the summer, and then the winter skies are obviously great. And Allison's just commenting that she had great breakfasts at every hotel. Mara visited and had awesome seafood. We have a lot of great travelers joining us today, so that's awesome, you guys. I think the experts that we have with us, Cathy and Andrea, they know a lot about not only the Iceland vacation, but if you go to our website, you'll see that there are vacations all around the US and the world that they are really knowledgeable on. So again, we encourage you guys to comment, and thanks for joining us and asking us questions. And Brian has joined us and said he prefers salmon for breakfast, but he usually has a smoothie when he's traveling. Well, I'm sure you can get that smoothie in Iceland too, but there are just lots of great choices. And one thing I wanted to talk about, and Andrea, I would be interested to hear what you think about it, is the spa experience in Iceland, because I think that is part of the culture and definitely worth checking out. And one thing I would say about it is we do have on the itinerary that Cathy and Andrea, we've all put together this experience at the Blue Lagoon, but we also have a different spa experience in downtown Reykjavik. It's truly where the locals go. And if you go to our website, you can see a video about it. But it's a really high-tech spa where locals every morning will go to the spa regularly. And we have it on your itinerary so that you guys can check it out and go too. And I encourage you to go to our website and watch a video about it because it's really fascinating. It's a really cool spa experience, but I'd be interested to hear your comments on it, Andrea, and then Cathy, if you have some spa tips, that would be great as well.
Yeah, well, the big tip is actually the new spa place, which is going to open soon. It's called, I guess, Sky Spa, and it's going to be in the south, right in the Atlantic Ocean. I spoke about it with Olafur, and he said this is going to be unique in the world. So imagine yourself watching the northern lights at this spa, which is in the Atlantic Ocean, in the south of Iceland, with all, it's not like a city environment. It's not a hotel environment. It's even better than the Blue Lagoon, if those who watch this party know about it. This is really the next place to be in Iceland, for sure.
Yeah, I did visit the Blue Lagoon, and I will say that it's probably a place that's nice to visit, of course, as you know, as a first-time traveler to Iceland. But if you have a chance to experience something like Darley did with the locals, I would highly suggest that. The Blue Lagoon is beautiful, of course, but if you can really make your way to a local spot, that is preferable. I did go on a super Jeep tour out to the Highlands and went to just some natural hot springs and took a dip there, and it was like 30 degrees out. And that was really cool because there are more locals in that type of setting. So I personally like to do what the locals do. So I'd have to go with your recommendation, Darley, for a local adventure.
Oh, I mean, that's why we're putting these itineraries and things together. I mean, you guys see the shows that I do on Equitrekking and Travels with Darley. We're all about traveling with the locals and getting those local experiences. And I agree, Andrea, that was one of the best experiences that I've had. And I think that if you can, again, you know what the locals are doing, which is what we try to research and find, it makes for such a great trip. So if you guys are just joining us, I'm going to pop up another quick video of just something quirky and funny in Reykjavik, and we're going to resume our chat. But we do encourage you guys to ask us questions, and we are going to also have just a couple trivia questions for you if you're paying attention to us today, so that you can win some prizes on this live. Thanks for joining us.
The mission of eating hot dogs has translated quite well over here at Reykjavik. Of all the places I was told to eat, this one came up at the top of everyone's list, and I can't wait to try a dog.
Hello.
Hello. What's your specialty here?
That's one with everything.
Well, then I will have that.
We'll try it.
Oh, look, there's Bill Clinton eating here at the hot dog stand.
$2.90.
Wonderful.
There you are.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, let's see how this is. They're supposed to be awesome. I don't know. Can they beat the American hot dog?
We do encourage you guys
It's
to ask
good.
this question, and we are
For
going to
more
also
video
have
clips,
a couple
expert
trivia
tips,
questions
or to learn
for you if you're paying attention to us today. So funny. I don't know if you saw that when you were there, Andrea, but I don't know if you guys. I'm going to remove Cathy for a second because she's got us on in the background. But there's so many interesting food experiences. I always like to compare U.S. foods to international foods, and I just thought it was hilarious that this is a famous hot dog stand in Reykjavik if you're there, and it's open all night. And Bill Clinton and everybody, all these celebrities have gone there, and the hot dogs were really good, I would say, because I'm comparing them to like the New York hot dog stands in Central Park, and I was impressed.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I think they are a mixture of 3 meats, aren't they, Darley? It's I'm pretty sure the meats, it's a mixture, a combination. But they are good. It's a nice little snack or quick dinner.
So funny. Allison, I love your comment. A seagull grabbed your hot dog out of your hand. Heard that happens a lot. They were delicious. So I'm glad you found this local's hot dog stand too. And Michael's asking, which hot dog is better? Well, Michael, I kind of have to go with the US because I'm partial with my American pride. But I will say that these are definitely worth a try. And as always, like, I love trying the local food when you're traveling somewhere. So I do recommend that you guys, get out there and experience it when you're there. And if you guys are just joining us and you have questions, please post them into the chat. We wanted to share with you, actually, we wanted to test your knowledge to see if you were paying attention earlier when we talked a little bit about the Icelandic horses and the unique ways that they're moving. And the way I'm going to post up a trivia question, and whoever is the first to post it in the comments will be reaching out to you via Messenger to get your address, to send you this Travels with Darley organizer bag and luggage tags. If you book vacations with us, you'll also be receiving these items and other perks. So let me see who can get this. And I'm Andrea and Cathy, you'll have to silently say it in your head because I want to see if you've been listening too. But this is a little trivia question. What number of gaits or unique ways of moving do Icelandic horses have? We went over it briefly in the earlier video, but just wanted to see if you guys can let us know. And we're going to bring on a special guest in a second because Olafur from Iceland is actually joining us. But for this trivia question, post it into the comments and we'll be messaging the winner. And now let's add in Olafur. Welcome to our live.
Hello, thank you. How are you?
Hello.
Olafur is joining us today from Iceland, and he is truly an expert. If you guys are out there joining us and have questions and want to chime in and learn about Icelandic horses, he is in his stables in Iceland and is going to share with us more beautiful footage of these Icelandic horses. Who do we have here, Olafur?
Well, this is Henrik here. He's the most wild one here in the stable. So I'm riding all the horses except this one. We need a very professional person to do that. And here we have a horse called Plossie. This one is a horse that everyone can ride and has very fast gaits. So this is one of our favorite horses. And here we have the mare, Goodlinga. This is a champion horse here. This is a very funny character. She's actually like humans. She dislikes some people and others she likes.
If you guys are just joining us, look at these manes and look at the characteristics of these Icelandic horses because they are super, super cute. I'm going to try to get it so Olafur is our main person here if I can. But I love seeing these horses here. I'm soloing you, Olafur, so you can show us a little bit around the stables.
Yeah. And here we have a very funny character. This one is called Mercury. And this one I only ride. And then some who are advanced riders can ride this one. Because this one wants to go fast. This one cannot relax. And he's like, a bit grumpy, so he always turns this way. Except if you have something to give him. Then he maybe comes. No, he's not going to let it be tricked here. And then this one here is the oldest one in the stable. This one is called Stormer. Means like wind, windy wind.
This one's not even turning around to say hi to us. He's like, I've done this a million times, guys. I'm not even coming back.
This one is such a funny character also. So this one always, when you're trying to take him in from the, when he's outside, he always lifts his legs and is kind of protesting, saying that I'm not coming in. Now I'm outside in the area here. This one is afraid of water. So as soon as you get into where you have some small pots of water or something, he really becomes shy. I don't know if you see him here.
Aww.
And then you have the one I know you, for example, like a lot. This one has the most temper. So no man dares or horse dares to come close to her.
Love
this
it.
one is very funny. And this one is actually the wisest also. She always knows where I'm keeping the candy. She's the only horse that knows that, and I can't fool her.
For those of you who are joining us, we are being joined live by Olafur from Iceland, and he is out showing us his horses who are coming over to say hi. Very curious today. The Icelandic horses are such a special breed, Olafur. Tell us more about this one that we're saying hi to right now.
Yeah, so this one she's already 13 now, and my father breeded this horse. And but even though she has a bad temper in general towards horses, she's very safe for riding. So, but majority of these horses that we have here, for example, you need to have someone who has skills. But then, of course, we have other horses that everyone can ride, such as the Windy Wind inside. He is very, very secure.
Well, and that's a big question from a lot of people, Olafur, and maybe you can answer it. If you're coming to Iceland for the first time, so there are a variety of horses for different levels. You have horses that anybody can ride, but then some that you need more experience for. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's the case. So, but we have horses for all levels. So, for example, majority of clients that are coming to Iceland, they are beginners. And then we have horses for that. So that's kind of the most commonly used horses. But those who come actually on journeys for some days, then they get more advanced horses, and we even ride into the highlands and so on. Yeah.
And if you guys are just joining us, you're meeting Olafur from Iceland. We've had Cathy and Andrea on who work with me on Darley Vacations. They're there to, when you call or have questions about travel, they are such experts to answer your questions about Iceland and beyond. And now we're just excited that the technology has brought us together to actually be at Olafur's farm and meet his cute horses. If you guys have questions, Olafur is an expert on Icelandic horses. I know a thing or two too, having been over twice and written about them for my show and book. And they are just the cutest. We had a comment from someone, Olafur, asking if you are also a hairstylist of the horses, because their manes are just so cute and wild.
Do you see people in the background there riding?
Oh, there they go, guys. Look at that.
Yeah. This is one of the trainers here in Iceland. She's going into the big training area here now. Don't know how well you see them.
Yeah, we see them in the background out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just out for their Tuesday ride, I guess.
Exactly. And yeah, so this is a very, very popular riding area here in Reykjavik, and this is the most favorite things that people do when they actually finish work. They come to the stables and start riding.
Well, that's what a lot of us that are joining today, I know, like to do in general. And now Tim is asking about the horses. Are they original? Did the Vikings bring them to Iceland? Do we know about sort of the history of the horses in Iceland?
This is actually a fantastic question, because it is. Actually, it is like this, that these horses that are in Iceland are purebreds from the beginning, from the settlement times. No horses after that actually have been allowed to be imported. So for the first years and of course, you know, a couple of hundreds of years in the beginning, they were just importing them from Norway. And now, for example, today we have to be very careful. For example, when we come from championships abroad, we are not allowed to bring our things back unless it's being quarantined, and horses cannot come back into the country. So this was actually a very good question.
And actually, I love that Tim asked that question because if you guys pay attention, it might be part of the last trivia question we ask later.
Yeah.
And Olafur, so you were born and raised in Reykjavik, and did you grow up riding horses?
Yeah. Well, actually, I when I just started talking the first word, I had like this enormous interest in horses, and my parents actually were not involved in horses at that time, and they finally gave me my first horse when I was around 13. Then I had been just riding, on other horses, and then a few years later, my father actually started breeding the horses and went all in. So actually, it is like this today that if my father needs to be discussed about something, he has no interest in talking except if it's about horses. So he's like a huge fan of horses. So it's a lot in our family.
And I think that's very common. That's very common in Iceland for all of you guys are tuning in. It's a very strong horse culture over in Iceland, and a lot of people are very into horseback riding. And Anna was saying, Olafur, interesting. And I don't know if I have you frozen a little bit, so I don't know if you can get closer to the table to get the better signal. But she's saying, I see the horses are on rocks. We in the States try to keep the rocks out of the arenas. Are the rocks there naturally, or do you bring them in? What kind of footing do you use for the arenas there?
Can you repeat? I missed you a little bit. Can you repeat the question, please?
Anna was asking about the footing, like the rocks on the ground. Do you bring the rocks in for the horses to walk on, or is that part of the landscape and part of what you normally do for the horses in Iceland?
It's part of the landscape, and so they are quite sure-footed because they really need to. And this is another very good question because the Icelandic horse is known for being very sure-footed because he has to be in very different. He's going through lava, he's going through difficult rocks, sands, ice. So it's all natural for him, and that's one of the things that have been very important for those who are breeding horses, that they stop breeding horses from those who don't have good enough and strong enough shoes, basically, the hoofs. So it's very important due to that, because it's no artificial paths that are made.
Yeah, and that's something that's really interesting. If you guys go over to ride in Iceland, you might be surprised that you would be literally trotting or tolting over lava fields, but you can, and the horses do it with ease. They've been doing this for hundreds and now more than 1,000 years in Iceland, so the terrain doesn't bother them at all. They actually are very, very sure-footed there in Iceland. And Olafur, Tim is asking if there's a special diet for these Icelandic horses. Is there something special that they eat, or what do they eat there in Iceland?
It's mainly just the grass that we give them. For the champion horses, sometimes we have like these stronger ingredients, and that's just to show you. So that would be something like this. This is made here, and I don't know if you see it. This is made in Iceland. So this would be something that would be kind of stronger, and it's made with all kinds of ingredients. Minerals here in this one, and so it's actually but the most common thing is just the Icelandic grass, which comes like this. So we put it into these amounts here, and we give it just from the summer before, so it needs to be overall the winter stored like this.
And I don't know if you guys just noticed this, but Olafur, if you wouldn't mind, like I just noticed your tack room. Would you show us an Icelandic saddle? Because for the saddles that you guys ride on are a little different. If you guys go to Iceland, you have much longer stirrups when you're riding. Your legs are almost straight. So Olafur can show you kind of what a saddle looks like there.
Yeah. So they changed a lot. In the old days, they were actually longer. But so basically it's like this, that the feet is going quite far down. I don't know, maybe you can see it better on this one, for example. This one is mine. And so that's true. My legs are completely down. Yeah.
Very
And-
straight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. If you ride English and you ride with shorter stirrups, you will have a little bit of an adjustment if you go over to do some riding in Iceland, which I think is fascinating. Kat is asking, and I don't know if do you have any foals, any baby horses right now, Olafur? Or
Not to show at least now, but we have, of course, in the countryside. So we have a few locations, both that we are using for where we are riding and where we are breeding them. So we have in the north and in the south places that we use. So you see here, he is still just not coming at all. This is the old one.
He doesn't want to be on the. He doesn't want to be on today on the live. This one.
Oh, he's not. But this one has turned. This one is the fastest one that never goes slow. So I don't know if he's willing to come and say, yeah, he's coming.
I love their manes, and don't you guys love how they're so thick, and you wonder how they can see, but they can. They're the cutest ever to do. If we did like an Icelandic horse hairstyle session, that would be really fun, I think.
Yeah.
His
mother actually is a very determined horse, and it was very difficult for her to be in stables. She always jumped over them.
Okay. She wants to
yeah. And the father of this one is actually one of the most famous champions in Iceland, called Orri.
What does that name mean, Olafur?
Orri. I'm actually not sure what it means. That's a very good question. Maybe for next time we have that ready.
We're doing some major trivia today, which reminds me, I mean, earlier we had this trivia question, and I'm just going to tell you guys the answer because I saw a lot of you posting, and you did get it correct that it was 5. But we have another trivia question that we wanted to pop up there, and I'm going to put it up. And if you guys try to answer it, we'll take the winner. Will be the first one in the comments, and you will be winning this this special cookbook that you can receive and enjoy in preparation for our next live, which is on April 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a cooking and cruising live, and this is from Regent. We'll be sending you some recipes. But let me pop this other trivia up so you guys have a chance to win. We've talked about this a few times, how long Icelandic horses have been bred in Iceland. It's a very long time. You can just throw out a number if you have a guess. I mean, we talked about the longevity and, how pure they are. This is a very pure breed. But if you have the answer, go ahead and post it up, and we'll take the first winner, and we'll be messaging you. I see you guys are commenting, so I know a lot of you are working on the answer right now, and I'm seeing some good responses out there. And Olafur, who are you sharing with us now? This one looks like we've just had a meal. Yeah,
she always leaves this. She's so funny, this one. This one is Goodlinga, the mare, the champion. And this one is, when you look at her, she moves very slowly, and you would think that she would be like horses for babies. But when you go on and start riding her, she's like a jet. So only advanced can ride this one. And you can imagine the fun then having 5 gaits for the Icelandic horse, and having someone who is advanced and can use this and use the technique to ride them fast and enjoy them. Yeah.
And tell us the 5. We've got the walk, trot, canter, the Tölt. Can you pronounce it?
The Tölt, yeah.
And the last one.
Pace, that's pace, yeah. So what is mostly special with Icelandic horses is the Tölt and the pace. And the Tölt is probably the most unique thing because it's fast walk, and they can go as fast as canter, like fast walking. So you really just sit in the settler and you really don't move. You're just going fast. It's just like walking very fast. And then you have the pace, which other actually breeds have in the world, but it's very fast with the Icelandic horse. And what's so amazing with it is that in general they are small comparing to other horse breeds in the world. But they are very, very fast, even though they are small and sure-footed. And just to mention about these things, because you had the question earlier about with the rocks and the lava and so on. it's not just that, it's also the fact that when we were riding in the past in snow blizzards and crazy weather going long distances, the only thing we could rely on, because we had no view, was just to hold on to the horse, and he knew how to go home, even though he didn't see anything, because he uses sounds, he uses the mountains, he uses all landmarks, so it's not the vision that he's always using when he's going home.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because if you guys know horses out there, and I've had this experience too, horses have a great navigational sense. So if you get lost, you're supposed to literally just drop your reins and let them take you home. I was in Arizona riding in the middle of the desert, and we did get lost, and our guide was gone, and we just dropped our reins and we're like, just take us home, please. Oh, just take us home. So if you want to go out and explore, you might want to take a horse with you, and especially an Icelandic one, it sounds like, in order to get you on your way in a good way. Is that so? It sounds like that's correct, Olafur. Sounds like
absolutely, yeah. That's actually amazing how they can do it. It's hard, but the thing is that Icelandic horses and horse breeds in the world, they have like this other sense in general. So it's so those who really become good, for example, riding, they connect with the horse. That's the only way to become like a champion or really good. It's actually, so this word being a horse whisperer is actually no joke, because it's just everything that it is, because you really need to sense the horse. It's like the avatar thing, in a way.
That horse sense. So for folks that are going to come over to Iceland and try to do some riding, how long does it usually take someone that maybe can ride a horse but is not an expert to kind of feel the gaits and kind of get into the Tölt?
I would say the most common thing would be 1 to 2 hours. And then there are the ones that actually are sometimes only coming to Iceland for riding, and then they are going for up to 10 days riding in the highlands. But that's very extreme, and you accommodate in huts, and it's you need to be kind of really all into the horses. But those who really like to try, even though they haven't tried it before, I would say like this is one of the most popular activities here, because people are so amazed with these Tölting, especially when we are, I don't know how to say, we choose the right places that have the good Tölt. So those farms who actually have ambitions in this, we choose them and select them rightly, so you really can get a chance to ride and get to know the Tölt.
And if you guys are just joining us, or I know you've seen Cathy and Andrea today, who help with travel planning. Olafur is our contact in Iceland. So if you want to look at the itinerary we have, but then also customize it and do more riding or do less riding, that's something that we're able to do. I've been over a couple times to Iceland to ride and love it. Andrea's been over. Olafur obviously lives there. So, that's Olafur is telling you like what is so helpful. And that's why we encourage people to travel with local guides, because when you're with a local guide, you learn so much. They really have the inside track on the best farms and the best horses and the best places to do this or that. It's such a great and amazing experience to be had. And I just love seeing your different horses, and encourage you guys, if you're joining us today or you have questions while Olafur's on, I'm going to actually bring Cathy and Andrea back in, so we're all together in a second here, so that you can ask any remaining questions on this live today. It's been so great to show some videos from our Equitrekking adventures, but then also be able to have Olafur show us into his stables, and so let's bring the gang back together for our last hurrah here on this live. Olafur, who do we have? Who is gonna? Who's your favorite one in the stable today? Today, I say, because I know it may change day by day. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. I would say the one that is kind of my far favorite is actually in the north now. He's one of the strongest horses in Iceland. His muscles are out of this world, really. So, and I have to admit that I'm always having like these butterflies in the stomach when I'm riding him, because he has a character, Sometimes when I start riding him, he's like, I'm in this mood today. So then I need to work around him. But I would say when I'm kind of really just enjoying the riding and just peaceful and going fast, I would say this mare is the one that would be my choice. The one that always has this in the front. She's always like sleeping around.
The messy one.
Yeah. Goodlinga, her name is Goodlinga. It means Inga is an Icelandic name and good means gold. So it's Goldinga.
Not easy to pronounce.
No. And
Icelandic is difficult.
Yeah. And she's actually like this, that it took me 2 years to get her to kind of accept me. She always went into the corner and didn't want to talk to me and so on, was shy. And then in the end, we became good friends and she always get like some candy from me. Probably it's just the candy, it's not me.
Well, for those of you who have been joining us today, we really appreciate it. Olafur came in from Iceland, showing us the stables in the Reykjavik area. And if you travel to Iceland, he's someone that you may be able to meet if you look at the itinerary on our site and get to talk to Cathy or Andrea to learn more about these trips. And Anna is just asking a question: if you're used to riding Western, is it difficult to adjust to the Icelandic saddle?
No, it's no problem. Very good question, but that's no problem. Because actually the structure of the new saddlers that are being used are becoming more universal as people are used to abroad.
Yeah. So, and English, I ride English primarily, and I didn't have a problem in Iceland. I did have to get used to the stirrups being longer, but I think it's like anything. If you just relax into it, you're going to be fine. And just, if you just don't think so much about it and you feel the way the horse is moving, and when you get into that smooth gait, it's really an awesome experience. Yeah,
that's the thing. And the fact is that in general, breeds and horses, they are just very sensible animals, and it's just a challenge each day to really link with them, and it's just really amazing.
It is amazing. So we're so excited that you guys joined us. Cathy Moa from Gourmet Voyages and her colleague Andrea coming from Turkey, and we have Olafur coming in from Iceland. I've been coming from New York today and chatting with you guys, and we encourage you, if you have questions, to please reach out to us. We are, everyone's available to help you learn more about Iceland and the adventures and other places too, because And we're going to keep doing these lives to share resources, to share experiences from other people around the world. It's such a I've loved the technology during this time of staying home. We all can't wait to get back out there and travel. And it's coming up. You've heard about revenge travel. You've heard about what's happening with the vaccines. I'm very excited and hopeful about the future of travel. So we're all excited. And Cathy, I don't know if you wanted to say anything at the end of this live here.
Well, you can see the itineraries. We have 4 nights, 5 days, and 6 nights, 7 days online. Please feel free to contact us for more information. We can totally adjust to your wishes, the length and the budget. So please feel free. We are here for you.
And Andrea, who courteously came in last minute from Turkey to join us, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's great to see you guys and hear that there's so many people interested in Iceland. It's spectacular. You won't be sorry.
And Olafur, how do you say like thanks so much or goodbye in Icelandic?
Takk fyrir. Þetta var rosalega gaman.
So now the exercise is to repeat, all of us. Let's repeat.
Let's see if we can do it. Say it again. We might need to take it in parts.
Takk fyrir, þetta var alveg rosalega gaman. Og svo get ég sagt svona í lokin, rómverskur riddari réðst inn í Rómaborg, rændi og ruplaði rúsinum og remulaði.
Sure.
If you guys have never heard Icelandic before, here's your crash course. It is not an easy language, but thankfully a lot of people in Iceland also speak English, so you won't have too hard of a time. And animal language is universal if you go out riding, so there's no problem there.
That's for sure.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to be signing off. We encourage you, please join the next live. One of the next lives that we're doing actually is on April 14th. You can RSVP at that link and also go to our Facebook page and see where you can RSVP. We're going to be sending out recipes and the menu so you can follow along on a fun cooking live and learn about the Mediterranean cruise. Who doesn't want to take one of those? That I'm going to be on in November of 2022. And again, so many resources for you to check out to learn about riding and adventures and travel all over the world. Very excited to keep chatting with you live, and so glad that you guys all joined us today and had so many great comments and questions. I know a lot of you are really awesome travelers because a lot of you have been to Iceland and you've been around the world. So really, thanks so much, Anna, Brian, Michael, Evelyn, everybody who's out there who joined us. And thanks so much, Olafur, Andrea, and Cathy, everybody coming together from all these different places today. This is such an amazing experience.
Thank you.
End our live.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye. Bye.